The Chargers don't really have a legitimate number one entrenched starting quarterback. Okay. They've got a guy in Tyrod Taylor who's never been special. He's started some games. He's won some games. He's been to the playoffs, but he's never been special. If he were special, somebody else would have wanted him to probably be their starter. He fits the mold, right? I mean, he's the black, athletic, good thrower, can do you can do lots of different things. He's not Russell Wilson, but maybe he's the poor man's Russell Wilson. So, but nobody has ever said since Tyrod Taylor, was with the Buffalo Bills, that's the guy I want to be my starter. The Chargers have put him up as their starter and then went and drafted his eventual replacement. So if the kid quarterback who's a first round pick is not ready to go, and if Tyrod Taylor is not special, would you give Colin Kaepernick a shot to be your starter, not just to be there to market your franchise? Okay. Would you give Colin Kaepernick a legitimate shot? And my guess would be probably not. And the answer, and the reason I say that is because if you were looking for a legit starting quarterback option, if you were looking for someone to come in and compete with Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert, and by the way, if this guy wins the starting job, Tyrod Taylor's out. We don't need him anymore. We can just go with the rookie as our backup. If you were looking for a legit starter, not looking for a public relations move, not looking for jersey sales, not looking for ticket sales, not looking to be adored by everyone who believes that Colin Kaepernick was right, as you say. You know who you'd really be going after right now if you were the Chargers and you were looking for a starting quarterback, not just a PR move? You'd be going after Cam Newton. If you were looking for a starting quarterback, you got to think that Cam Newton, who's been playing the last 4 years, is a more legitimate starting option than Colin Kaepernick, who's been out of the league for all these years. But I know yesterday that when I suggested the notion that Kaepernick would fit with the Chargers, they don't have a legitimate starter. They need positive PR. They need to sell tickets. They need to sell merchandise. They need to become relevant. If I were the Chargers and I didn't get Tom Brady, I'd go sign Colin Kaepernick as fast as I possibly can. And now you have Anthony Lynn, the head coach of the Chargers, saying, yeah, he's on our radar to work him out. And so I would just say this. When I mentioned it yesterday, and I know Billy Ray, like I said, kind of seemed like a little offended by it. Like he doesn't want Colin Kaepernick with his Chargers. I wasn't joking. And here we are 24 hours later. And this story is a real possibility. But I just will close my thought with this because I can't shut the hell up. What I would close my thought with this, that if I were trying to get a starting quarterback, not a PR move, and I had the choice between Cam Newton and Colin Kaepernick, football player for football player as of today, my money would be on Cam Newton. So.
Here's the thing. I don't think you can go wrong with either guy. I'm going to say that first. I think that if you bring in Cam Newton, Tyrod Taylor's automatically out. I think that's the difference between the two. I think if you bring in Colin Kaepernick, there's a chance that he's not ready to play NFL snaps yet because he's been gone for so long. That's a real possibility. If you bring in Cam Newton, he's ready immediately. And like you said before, if Kaepernick wins the job, you don't need Tyrod Taylor anymore. He's out. I would argue why another reason why you should you should be able to bring in Colin Kaepernick is because of what's happening with COVID-19. You're going to need to carry more quarterbacks in your room than you did the previous seasons because you don't know who's going to get sick. Obviously, quarterbacks get hurt all the time. So you got a guy who's proven, but Tyrod Taylor's a professional quarterback. He's not bad. He's not great. You don't know if Justin Herbert is a bust, if he's great, or if he's just he's going to take a year to learn. You do know what Colin Kaepernick can do the last time he was on the field, whether you say he was on the decline or not. He's been to the Super Bowl. He has professional skills above what I would consider Tyrod Taylor. And so I think for that reason, you can have three quarterbacks in LA for the Chargers.
Let me start off by saying that let me just poo-poo on this whole thing right away because Anthony Lynn's full of shit, first of all, because he said you would be crazy to not have Colin Kaepernick work out for you this summer. And then he proceeds by saying, oh, he's not on our list and we haven't talked to him and we have no plans if we even need him. So what did you actually say? You just said that you contradicted yourself immediately. I don't understand why everybody started running with this quote. He said you have to be crazy not to have free agent quarterback Colin Kaepernick on their workout list. And then he also told reporters, We don't have plans to work him out yet. And we're not even sure if he's going to work out for us yet. So first of all, how did this blow up so much? And he just contradicted himself.
I will tell you how you ask how it blew up. I'm going to tell you how it blew up. I blame Browner.
What?
I blame Dr. Pixelation, the God. I blame him for this, and I'll tell you why. Because when we were at the Super Bowl this year, I didn't know who somebody named Diana Rossini was. I had no idea who she was. I never heard of her before. Browner, I mean, let's face it. Browner thought he could, get down with this girl. He's like,
no, different girl, dude.
Oh, really? Who's the girl that he wanted to get down with?
Mina Kimes.
Oh, Mina
what are you
Kimes.
doing?
My bad. All my bad. Hey, it's all white girls. They all look alike.
No,
she's Asian. What are you doing?
Who's Asian?
Mina Kimes.
Mina Kimes.
Oh, so I don't know who she is. I mean, I was trying to make a joke.
We first of all, we took a picture together. Okay?
You and her.
We had a back and forth on Twitter together. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You'll have to excuse me. I got everybody confused, and I really didn't. But I read these tweets from this Diana Rossini, and I thought that was the woman that you had met at the Super Bowl. And so when I see these tweets from Diana Rossini from ESPN, she says the Chargers are the first team to publicly share with the media that Colin Kaepernick is on their summer workout list for the upcoming season. So
but he's not.
Okay, but I'm just saying she's a reporter for ESPN.
Yeah.
She somehow worked her way into my timeline on Twitter. She has another tweet. Anthony Lynn says Kaepernick is on the workout list. Colin fits the style of our quarterback for our system. And so when you ask the question, Browner, I can no longer blame you because I screwed these girls up. But I blame this person for putting this into my feed and into my head. When your point is well made, Alex.
A lot of people ended up tweeting it. It's not just her. But it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, so we're going to give the Chargers and Anthony Lynn all this credit for saying we're going to work out Colin Kaepernick, but yet you literally said, I like the 3 quarterbacks in my room. I just want to have options on the runway. It's like, what? So, but let me just finish this thing. Like, we all know this ain't going to happen. For the owner, and that's where it stops. He's not going to put himself in the middle of the public landscape. You think Dean Spanos, of all 32 owners, I would put him at 32 to put himself in front of the Colin Kaepernick situation? Hell no, it's not happening. No chance, dude. I
got to say, I think I'd put Jerry Jones at 32. I don't think Jerry Jones would have any part.
Jerry Jones is a showman. Jerry Jones is a businessman. Jerry Jones understands the at least I would put him at 31. Dean Spanos is not going to touch this thing, dude. No way.
This is why, for 2 reasons. I'll explain the first. Pete Carroll also said that he's received calls from teams about Colin Kaepernick. That was a true statement made by Pete Carroll, who did not contradict himself one sentence later. 2, if we're talking about whether or not he plays, I lost my train of thought. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, boy. By the way, Anthony Lynn, though, like for him, I do think Anthony Lynn would do it. You know, when this whole George Floyd stuff came out, he did a big long interview on LA Times about wanting to make actual change, being an African-American coach in the NFL. I do think Anthony Lynn would do it. I don't think he has the power within the organization to make it happen. I think there's 2 guys above him that don't want anything to do it, specifically Dean and then Tom. I don't think Tom wants anything to do with it either.
Here's what I was going to say. Hold on, I'm going to forget.
Go ahead. Don't forget. Go ahead. Go.
This is the time, Dean. Now's your moment, okay? Mm-hmm. This is your Eminem moment. Lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you gotta never let it go. Dean, this is you, baby. This is you. This is your time to show LA you with them. You on the right side of history. You don't need Fabiani for this. You don't need Telesco for this. Anthony Lynn's already gave you cover fire, and if it goes wrong, you could just blame him and fire him.